the entrepreneurial side, we're coders, programmers, that grew up outside the system. Just like an algorithm, an AI algorithm, it has learned from all the past.
I was talking to you before about like being a futurist and that sort of thing. It's this type of thing that I believe we can use to actually help transition and evolve humanity in cool ways. It's this idea of big data. Often stays in the realm of business. Welcome to the game of frequencies.
The humanitarian innovation hub of Canada, and at this point, the world. A catalyst division, as well as the empowerment of the people throughout the earth.
So you're saying as you dig deeper, find computer code written in the fabric of the cosmos.
In general, we look for new law by the following process. First, we guess it. Then we so don't laugh, that's really true.
I suppose you could consider me as a symbolic linguist. There's a certain language.
The earth is ravaged and the animals are dying. A new tribe of people shall come into the earth from many colors, breeding classes, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They shall be known as the warriors of the rainbow. From Hopi Prophecy.
Welcome to the game of frequencies. This is a video series. Is it a video series?
A video series, yeah. Filming at Divergent Unity's headquarters here, the innovation hub, the humanitarian innovation hub of Canada, and at this point, the world.
Yeah, I guess it is. So for this being the pilot episode, we are just going to start to introduce you to some of the main overarching concepts to our architectures, just so that we can get some of the admin type stuff out of them.
Yeah.
I think it's important to introduce you and include you in the process, not just the outcome.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is one of the main key elements for you to understand throughout these episodes. Imagine this as a series with seasons. Each season has its own themed episodes. Keep in mind that throughout this story, this narrative, the storyline is yours.
Very much.
So, I mean, we as debuggers, we're also
Producers, is that the...
yeah, we
And architects of the...
yeah, that's another one of those words that
I'm going to get beeped again, aren't I?
well, maybe they'll have to be introduced to the word architect at some point.
Yeah, I guess. So for now, producers, because everyone's pretty much familiar with television series sort of layout and how things are done like that.
Yeah. So for us, we have laid some of the groundwork. We have sourced some early material. Maybe that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, because one of the things is we're drawing from the big data. That's all out there, right? So we're sourcing all our material is built on top of what's already out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So that being said, over time we are going to give it away piece by piece, give it over to you. And so this will become a very, very interactive story. The narrative will be transferred over to each of you as time goes on. So everyone will have a part to play in this, a real part, just like we are here in our Humanitarian Innovation Hub.
So why that is, I guess, we've been at this for, again, a long time for myself, for 35 years plus now. The debugging, so the training is already there. So the exposure to certain types of data can be fantastical, I guess is the word to some, right? Where others is familiar, depending again on your different pockets, ecosystems that you belong to already of knowledge. And so, as much as this is your story, there's still the learning pathways that we need to bring everybody in, because at some point we're all going to come together, right, on these different arcs throughout the stories.
The question is, though, how do two guys standing up here in some incubation center manage to do all of this? How are we going to bring all of this together? How are we going to bring these people
Yeah.
into this reality so that we can generate a new one together?
Yep. Yep.
That is the question. The answer is the power of open source is a good place to start.
Yep.
What we mean by that is the world around us has gifted us with many amazing tools, many amazing experiences, many amazing people who donate their time, who have created software, for example, or events or spaces for others to use.
Solutions, smaller solutions, yep, products themselves. I mean, all individuals like yourself that want a better tomorrow, better future for everyone, right? So up until this point, open source has been pretty much contained in the corporation place, right? Or small startups into the software world. I myself, growing up, especially in the 90s, that's pretty much when one of the first open source modules or products was released. I believe it was IBM, if my memory is serving me correctly, with a product called Solar. It was an open source search engine. And but it was really the time when corporations held a great deal of control on how things were developed and what products were being used. But after that time, developers slowly started taking power and taking over until fast forward to today, when they're truly, the new kingmakers. That's a book you can go search up if you want to get a good sort of background on it.
You're just throwing out the word.
Yeah, well, the big words. They're trying to. Well, here comes another one. So another member on our team, we'll introduce you throughout the globe, that you'll come into as we go along, who's very, very well knowledged in the open source industry, is a man named Robert David Steele. Ex-CIA, 25 years, clandestine officer. He wrote a book, a really good book. I encourage everyone to go and start there, never mind all his other material. But the Open Source of Everything Manifesto really describes a future that we can live together in coherence as a collective, working together, right? So he's just one of the individuals. When you do search him out, if you do search him out, he is, again, very knowledgeable. He has a lot of background. There's a lot of stuff he can drop that might shake your world. So just, as an intro to him, or to, again, what we're centering at this point around, just the Open Source of Everything Manifesto. All right, that's a book to search up. So what else have we got?
Business model time. How do we do this? How can we manage to do this? So we've got the power of open source that we're standing on, which is it allows us to do all of this. But there really has to be we talked about in our last episode, we talked about this, what we're currently implementing. This has never been done before. And that's a pretty bold statement. So where is the strategy behind of this? Where is the business model behind this? Where is the implementation model behind this? Good questions. Well, I know because I asked them.
So Patreon is a good spot to start. Yes. Spark to start. I'm going to get that scrolling again in my crickets and roosters. So, yes, because they are for creative types, whether it's video, games, etc. And that's what really the world needs now, is individuals, creative individuals with the mindset, the arts mindset, the laterally minded, open-minded individuals that see far and wide and dare the boundaries of evolution. But we're going to take it a step further, which is why it's important because we're after this groundswell of people, right? In humanity, that's the whole point. You notice the tiers that we've put on the site, tiers 1 through 11, and by 11 it gets, well, in some people's minds, ridiculous. But we're giving that option for other individuals from the top end and the bottom end to say, hey, you know what? I want to put people on my back and truly create this tomorrow.
Understand, folks, the scope of this is unlimited. We have the capacity to do this on a very small scale, and maybe it will help a little pocket of somebody somewhere, all the way to the entire planet. So the quicker, the more backing we get, the quicker we can do this.
Yeah.
Is this where we tell them probably how quickly this can be done?
Absolutely. Guys, hold your seats. Oh, you do this best. You go ahead. You got that like pause.
Maybe this isn't the right one because we haven't told them what it is we're doing yet.
Okay, well, wait. I'll finish off the business model.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
got ahead of ourselves.
That's right. So you notice the $1 tier. That's what we're really interested in because we want the people, right? We want, but for those who can afford the 5, 10, again, it just speeds things up. A catalyst approach, right? And so it's not enough. Patreon is sort of that first stage of getting the money in. So everything comes in safely. You see what we're doing. Then what we're going to do is it's the extra step for this. I'm going to say safety, the truth, so you can feel comfort in that we're going to be delivering this. From there, the money goes into a Canadian non-for-profit corporation governed by more laws, extra laws, that we are now responsible to adhere to rules in the way that we've set up the corporation, and this particular corporation is called Starseeds United. So the transparency is there, right? So the money comes in through, because that's through Patreon, because we're using that as the initial groundswell indicator, right? And then from there we put it into the NFP, and then we're going to govern out all the tools. Everything is going to be developed from there under that NFP, and then later on we'll tell you about other individuals that we have on board, so that the money's being used legitimately for what exactly everything we're saying, right? So that it's not just a couple of guys pocketing the money, throwing stuff out there because we know buzzwords, but I mean, we throw down a lot more than buzzwords, but so you can see that we're serious, that our backing, our real skills here, we're gonna put to the test on a humanitarian level.
So why Patreon? Well, we felt like this was a great place for us to be able to show you our accountability, our transparency, and to really solidify this relationship where we are working for you.
Yeah.
You pay us to do what we do, which is to help to generate and drive this narrative, this amazing story that we're all going to tell together. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And more of that obviously in future episodes and breakout episodes is going to unfold, right? So it's obviously it's big, it's distributed, we can't drop it all now. That's why the trust has to be gained here, right? And then there's going to be all these unique groups that are going to be working together, under a keystone that organizes everything. It maintains balance, right, for this narrative that we're going to be unfolding. So what's the next thing there then?
I think that was it.
Yeah, was it a closing? What was the closing?
Closing roadmap.
Roadmap, yeah.
Roadmap, I think we kind of got into it already, but the roadmap is essentially we are developing this series. We have 6 seasons envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
That's a breakout episode we're going to get. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very highly thematic, and they're linear in the sense that they build on each other. We'll get into that. That's an episode in and of itself. The reasoning behind it is just.
Did we talk about the quantum jump now, or in that?
Quantum jump. No, I don't think we can.
Okay,
because then
we'll
we
wait
have to
till
talk
then.
about
Yeah, I know.
the
Then we
time
have to.
travelers.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
And then they're going to ask, well, what comes after the quantum?
Yeah, that's right. And then the Kingmaker, blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay, we'll save that for them.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole episode in itself. All right.
Although I think you'd let the cat out of the bag with the Kingmaker. honestly.
Well, there's the New Kingmaker
Yeah.
book. I encourage them to go read the New Kingmaker book.
Yeah,
that's- And then they can, of course, Google what Kingmaker has been throughout history. I know, it's all these little subtle things that they can take up.
Yeah.
It's part of the game of frequencies here.
Or not, but we've got it
Yeah.
under control.
Yeah, the game of frequencies knows no bounds. We use everything and anything that's out there. That's why it's the game of frequencies.
You got it. Divergent Unity, peace out.
Take care, man.